So let's talk about how to be able to add rollover images to our banner. If you're just picking this up from here, you're going to want to download the Lesson 13 folder, and inside of there, you want to be able to set your DreamWeaver website to the RC Photography website root folder. If you're not sure how to do this, you might want to go back to Lesson 9 and start from there. Inside of DreamWeaver now, we have a website, and that website has a specific layout, and it looks like this. Now we can preview this in Safari, and we'll see that we have an About section, a Contact section, a Biography section, and that looks okay. But what I want to do from here is I want to be able to take this and I want to make it so that these sections here roll over to a yellow color when I switch to them. Now that's what I'm going to work on. To do that, I'm going to close out of this file and instead go into the PSD files folder, and we have the texture finished graphic. That's the one that we were using when we set up all of those slices. Go ahead and just close this window out real quick. We'll wait for the Photoshop file format to come up, and this is what it looked like. In essence, all I really need to do is I just need to replace these graphics here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my Layers section, and in my Layers section I'll expand the navigation, and this is the navigation that I'm working on. I can just single click on this, and if I want, add a color overlay. I'll add a color overlay of, let's say, like a yellow. It's something like that. And I can just kind of taper it back a little bit. Nothing really too elaborate, but that's all I did. Right? Regular, overstate. Regular, overstate. Now that I have that set, what I'm going to do to make this easier for myself is I'm just going to use the Slice tool. Grabbing the Slice tool, I'll make a series of slices. There's my slice, 1, and I usually slice from the first corner away in. 2, 3, and 4. Now I can switch to my Slice Select tool and just make sure that these slices sit exactly where they're going to sit, that they sit right on guides. Right, because Photoshop has a habit of kind of making a little bit dirty slices here. So we'll get these exactly where we want them. I always say, when in doubt, just check. Now, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, let's bring that in there, and there's 4. So I always just single click on the center of them to check them, make sure that the ends are okay. That looks fine. And then once I've done that, I can zoom out. Now, easy to zoom in and zoom out. I'm just holding on the Alt key and I'm rolling in my mouse wheel. So I get it exactly where I want. Now, I want these 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to click on File and I click on Save for Web and Devices. Now, I'm going to select just by shift clicking these 4. Right, I don't want anything else, I just want 1, 2, 3, and 4. Having those 4 slices selected, you can obviously set whatever comparison setting you want, whatever GIF setting you want. That's entirely up to you. But those are the 4 I'm looking for, and I'm going to click on Save. Now I'm going to save that inside of my website root folder, inside that Photoshop exports folder, but I'm also going to save that under a new folder called Over. But then I'm not going to know which one's which. It'll just give it a slice name. It'll be weird. So before I do any of that, I'm going to come over here, I'm going to double click, and I'm going to give these guys names. I'm going to call this BTN About Over. I'm going to double click here, and I'm going to call this BTN Bio or Biography and Over. I'm going to double click here, and I'm going to call this BTN Galleries Over. Double click here and BTN Contact Over. Now that I've done this to all 4 of these, I can go ahead and save this. I'm going to save it into that Photoshop's exports folder, but I'm going to create a new section called Overstates. I was going to say over_dates, but I'll just make it overstates there. And I only want images only. And I only want selected slices. And I'll click on Save. That's it. Now I can save this and close this and switch back over to DreamWeaver. I'll open the Files tab, and then I'll refresh, just to see if anything in here has changed. There's my overstates, and inside of there we have the images. Oops, looks like I lost DreamWeaver there a second. So we'll go back to the files. I'm going to drag this out, make it easier for myself for right now. And I'll expand this, and then I'll drag here just to show you. Button over, button biography, button contact, button galleries. Look good. I'm ready now. Go to my assets, and inside the assets, let's go ahead and open that template. I'm going to single click on the first graphic, and what I'll do is I'm going to go to Window, and I'm going to go to Behaviors. Under the Behaviors, I'll click on the plus sign, and I'll add a swap image. I'm going to take this image and I'm going to swap with something else. What is that something else? I'm going to go to the overstates, and I'm going to swap it with the About Over image. Click Choose. It's going to preload the image, and it's going to restore the image on mouse out. Wonderful. Couldn't ask for anything more. Write the two behaviors in here. I'm good. Go to the next one. Go back. Open up the behaviors again. Go to Window. And go to Behaviors. And in fact, I'm going to just put this into the tag inspector in the top. I'll just go ahead and click on this. And then swap image. Browse. Biography. It remembers the last directory, so that's cool. Come over here. Inspector. Swap image. We'll browse. I didn't pay attention. I didn't know which one that was. Galleries. That looks good. And then lastly, contact. Go to the inspector, add the behavior, add the swap image. There's our contact. Click OK. That looks pretty decent. Drag my files back in there and do a save. Once I save all of it, it'll take all of those pages that are using it. Once it does all of that, then I can just go ahead and close this file, and I'll go back over to the file section and just open up my index.html. I'll preview that. Notice, not bad. Looks pretty good. We have rollover states now. I'm pretty happy about that. Now we can go over here, we can go over here, we can go over here, and it's pretty set. Now, in the next lesson, what I'd like to be able to do is I'd like to be able to talk about just how to import a Photoshop document onto a DreamWeaver layout and the kinds of things that you can do with it using Photoshop Smart Object.